Shalom, back with part 3. All right, who is it that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Basra? Let's continue here. All right, again, let me read this. Psalms 2, starting at verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance. You see that? So we're going to possess Esau, Edom, the tabernacles of Edom, the white man, plus the other 16 heathen nations. All right? You understand that? But by possessing them, we also possessing what? Their lands. You understand that? All right? Give me a minute. All right, and what else is this talking about? It's talking about rulership. Okay? Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance. All right? Just like, as we read Deuteronomy 32 and 9, Jacob is the lot of the Lord's inheritance. Well, part of our inheritance is what? The other nations have to bow down to us. That's, part of our blessing, okay, that Jacob got, all right? Our forefather, all right, for the 12 tribes, all right? You read that in Genesis 27, verse 28 and 29. You read our blessing, all right? How Esau, Edom, right, thy mother's son, right, and the other nations have to bow down to us, okay? All right, let's move on, shall we? All right. So, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession, okay? So you see, we're going to be ruling the earth, all right? And thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, and thou shalt dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel, all right? Much like what we read here in Revelations 2, starting at verse 25. That which ye have already hold fast till I come. What is that we have already? There's truth, wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the scriptures. All right? Okay, this is how, this is the strength of our salvation. All right, as we read over there in Isaiah 33 and 6. Right? Wisdom and knowledge, all right, shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Okay, you understand? All right, excuse me. And he that overcometh, right? Okay, another word for that would be endure, enduring until the end. You got to run a good race, people, just like our Lord did. You run it all the way to the end. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations. There you go again, talking about rulership. You understand? We're going to be the immortal God, kings, and priests of the earth. All right? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. All right? Rule who? The tabernacles of Edom plus the other 16 heathen nations. And as vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. You see that? All right? Again, what is it? 2 Timothy 2:15. All right? Study to show thyself approved unto who? The Most High. Okay? Being a workman. Okay? Which means being diligent, doing the work, a servant of the Lord. Never taking your hand off the plow, right? Not being ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth. How do you do that? Through your precepts. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, right? What about 2 Peter 1:10? Brethren, be diligent, right? Again, being a workman, never taking your hand off the plow, be continuous, right? To make thy calling, which means invitation. You have to be invited in. You don't walk in unawares. All right? Many are called, few are chosen. Again, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. St. John's 15:16. All right? And to make thy election sure. All right? An election, it's talking about the elect of Israelites. All right, that were chosen before the foundation of the world. You just simply go into that word election in the blue letter of the Bible Concordance, and it will tell you that. Certain persons and individuals amongst Israel all right, of the 12 tribes were blessed. They were sanctified, made holy and separate and ordained. It was decreed, okay? And of course, Yahushua would have mercy on these spirits, right? To go along with that. But again, this is Israel, and it tells you that clearly. It's not talking about any other nation, but the Israelites, all right? That certain persons and individuals will be blessed. And who's the Lord coming back for? He's coming back for his elect. Okay, the first spirits, the first fruits ever created. All right? Matthew 24:31. Right? And he shall send his angels, right? At the sound of a trumpet. Right? Let's see here. Matthew 24:31. All right? And he shall send his angels with the sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together who? His elect, right? What else, proves that and backs that up, all right? Is, for example, Isaiah 45:4, all right? To gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven unto the other, you see? All right? And like I just said, what is that, Isaiah, right? 45:4. All right, for Jacob, my servant's sake, Israel, my elect. You see, I have even called thee by thy name, and I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. You see, but there you go, people. All right, let's jump to Amos. All right, I don't want to make this lesson too long. All right, and again, we can with all these lessons, It can even be extended even longer because there's so much information, all right? So much wisdom, so much knowledge, so many precepts. You understand? All right? Well, I said I'm going Amos. All right? Let's go to Amos 9:8. All right? What does it say here? All right? Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom. That's America, Babylon the Great. Okay? And again, anywhere where Esau, Edom pitches tent, okay, those places are going to be destroyed. They're sticking their nose in the Middle East. Well, and you have those imposters out there, those 1948ers. Again, Israel shall be trodden, till the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. You understand? So, that those imposters being there are just a fulfillment of prophecy. All right? The Balfour Declaration. All right? Okay? So, behold, the eyes of the Lord upon the sinful kingdom. We're talking about America, Babylon the Great here. And I will destroy it off the face of the earth. I love that. Every time I read that, I get goosebumps. Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. That's easily proven. All right? We go to Isaiah 14. All right, 14, 1 and 2. For the Lord will have mercy upon Jacob, see? All right? And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. See that? We're going back home in style. We're going back in the chariot. That didn't happen in 1948. Okay? The strangers shall be joined to them. The strangers are the Israelite foreigners. Again, good precept for that is an example of, Revelations 7 and 9. The great multitude, all right, peoples, nations, and tongues. Those are Israelites that were scattered into the Gentile heathen nations. They're going to look like those nations and speak in that nation's tongue. But they're Israelites, pursuant to the fact is that they are the seed of Israel by the seed of their fathers. You understand that? All right? It's that simple. Go to Numbers 1:18. The father determines the pedigree, the nationality, and race of the child. All right? That is the seed of the man. All right? Women have no seed. All right. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. And again, heathens are not going to cleave unto Israel. All right? Only Israelites will cleave unto Israelites, people. All right? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, right, Israel, for servants and handmaids. Who shall we possess as servants and handmaids in the land of Israel? Let's find out. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Who's that? Esau, Edom. Yeah, plus the other 16 heathen nations. All right, but it all starts with the tabernacles of Edom, the white man. You see that? So yes, we're going to have them as a possession. Let's get back to Amos 9 and 8. All right. Okay. For lo, I will command, I will sift out the house of Israel among all nations, right? Separating, the elect from the sinners, from the 2/3, okay? Sifted as is sifted in a seed, and yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. And all the sinners are my people. That's talking about 2/3 of Israelites, all right? Who's, they've been blinded, all right? Their eyes are closed, okay? Shall die by the sword. Again, anybody joined on to Esau, shall also the sword thrust through them. We read that. What is that? Isaiah 13th chapter, 15th verse. All right. And evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David. This is the house of David. All right. Again, you have two houses. You have the house of Saul and the house of David. All right. It is the house of David that the Lord is coming back for. All right. His elect. Okay. So I will raise up the tabernacle of David, the house of David that is fallen, close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruin, and I will build it as the days of old, as in the days of King David and King Solomon. All right. And that they may possess, you see this, a remnant. See that word remnant? That means we're going to possess them, a remnant of them. Of who? Of Edom and of all the other 16 heathen nations. But also, this is really talking about their lands. But remnant is into the fact that we're going to possess them. And we just finished reading about that. We shall take captives whose captives we were, and we shall rule over our oppressors. Did we not? Yes, we did. Now let's back this up about the lands real quickly here. We'll go here to Obadiah, all right? And I'm going to end this here after 3 parts, okay? Because I believe I'm giving you plenty of information here. All right, where are we going? Obadiah, it says, all right, Obadiah, just 1 chapter. At the 17th verse, right? But upon Mount Zion shall be delivered, right, the 12 tribes, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Whose possession? This whole chapter is talking about Edom, all right? So we're going to possess their possessions, their lands, everything, all the gold, all the silver, all the lands, everything, right? What is that? Escalatius 10 and 8. Again, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by the sea, the kingdom is translated from one people onto another, the other people being Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Verse 18 gets into the fact is that Esau is going to be terminated, exterminated. All right. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, talking about all 12 tribes. All right. Jacob and Joseph representing the 12 tribes, and devour them, right? Devour Esau, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh have spoken it. And as you read down, it talks about the possession of owning the lands. All right, so we're going to jump, close out Isaiah 14, right? 21 to 22 to close out, all right? Prepare slaughter for his children, all right? Talking about Esau, Edom, the Edomites, all right, the white man, for the iniquity of their fathers. They are their fathers. There's such a thing called regeneration, reincarnation, which means back in the flesh. So they are their forefathers, all right? Whether they know that or not, doesn't matter, all right? That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord, Yahweh, the host of armies, that's what host means, armies, and cut off from Babylon, talking about America, Babylon the Great, the name, the remnant, son and nephew, and as you can see, it's all talking about the male seed, all right, saith the Lord. All right, people, I'm out. I'm on to the next one. Shalom.